So let's discuss this reading comprehension passage and let's get started. Read the passage below to answer the given question. One of the most hazardous conditions a firefighter will ever encounter is a backdraft, also known as a smoke explosion. We must have seen in the buildings or probably watched in the news. Let's assume this is a big house of a multi-storied building. Probably it is on fire, and it's all locked. All the windows are locked. So what happens if the fire is inside? It will consume all oxygen, and as a result, all the window panes will turn gray, the smoke will be filled up inside, and that is why it is always suggested or advised. Now, this is my common general knowledge which I'm talking of. We are going to come to the passage, but it is always advised that the firefighters should always try to enter from the top, releasing, opening probably the chimneys or something, so that uh, the smoke is released gradually, because if suddenly a pane is broken, it might result into what is written over here, a backdraft. So I just so wanted to explain this concept. So one of the most hazardous, so one of the most means there could be so many hazardous conditions, but one of them is backdraft, which is also known as smoke explosion, which we just discussed in the form of this representative picture. A backdraft can occur in the hot, smoldering phase of a fire when burning is incomplete and there is not enough oxygen to sustain the fire. As I told, the fire has consumed whatever oxygen was available. So now if any window pane or door is suddenly opened, it would just grab or suck that oxygen, and as a result there would be explosion, also known as backdraft. Unburned carbon particles and other flammable products combined with the intense heat may cause instantaneous combustion if more oxygen reaches the fire. So this is a very fine, refined way of telling that, okay, there would be an explosion. Okay, so this is explanation of what a backdraft is. Second paragraph. Firefighters should be. So the moment we read the word should, it means some instructions or suggestions are being provided that this should be done in such cases. Should be aware of the conditions that indicate the possibility for a backdraft to occur. When there is a lack of oxygen during a fire, the smoke becomes filled with carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide and turns dense gray or black. So black soot, the clouds, we're talking of that. Other warning signs of a potential backdraft are little or no visible flame. So if there is no flame as such or very little, it again points out that there is no oxygen available. Excessive heat, smoke leaving the building in puffs, muffled sounds and smoke-stained windows. Proper ventilation will make a backdraft less likely. Probably that is why some old buildings are demolished now, and a new construction design has been is required to be passed and implemented because of this cause, that they are not properly ventilated, especially the old ancient cities and the villages. Opening a room or building at the highest point allows heated gases and smoke to be released gradually. Look, I told that in the beginning. However again means change of thought. It's a contrast. There's a change of thought that it's happening, however, but that still we need to be cautious of one thing. Suddenly breaking a window or opening a door is a mistake because it allows oxygen to rush in, causing an boom explosion. Okay, so now let's come to the question. The author's main purpose in this passage is to. Now, before even reading the options, let me just give you one quick trick. Whenever we have main purpose, okay, coming to the question, it says select and indicate the best answer. Because in main purpose, we cannot have more than one answer. One thing to understand. Second, main purpose 99% is found in the first 2 to 3 lines. sentences of the passage. Why? Because that is the topic sentence. Author always starts or probably introduce the main purpose in the first or second sentence, that hey, this is the purpose I'm going to talk about, or this is the topic I'm going to serve in my passage. So therefore, coming back and checking out what was the first sentence. One of the most hazardous conditions a firefighter will ever encounter is a backdraft. So we clearly know that it is backdraft, and it's one of the hazardous conditions is being talking about. So A part, prove how backdraft is the most hazardous situation a firefighter can face. Now we have to be very cautious when we're reading between the lines. Here we might get confused thinking, okay, most hazardous, most, but there's a difference. It says one of the most, whereas this option tells us most. Just looking at this, we straight away strike A because this is trying to confuse us, and we have decided not to fall in any trap. Therefore, this is an incorrect option because most means it is the only hazardous condition, whereas one of the most means that there are others as well, and out of all these, backdraft is one of the most. Okay. B part. Show the optimum way to prevent a backdraft with proper ventilation. Yes, this is part of the passage. Not to say no, it's not. But is this a main idea? Just showing prevention? No, we just strike it off because this is one of the element. C part. Explain the causes, the dangers, warning signs, instances, preventive measures in case of backdraft. Yes, this looks nearly correct, but let's move on to the other options to see. Tell a dramatic story about a firefighter caught in a backdraft. Nowhere do we find a firefighter and nowhere do we see a dramatic story. It's a very pure scientific, a very logical, analytical passage. Hence, this is clearly an incorrect option. Coming to E part. Provide useful information about how to deal with a backdraft. Yes, this is a sweet, simple, straightaway, clear-cut answer because this is the main purpose of the passage, to provide useful information, not going into the nuances, whether it's telling the causes, the dangers, the warning signs, but still it's not giving us an example as such. It's not talking about, it's not even catering to all the extra information we are reading. So this has a scope of leaving out or missing out on information. This could be a very clear competitor, but is not the correct answer. Hence, the clear-cut winner is E part, which means the main idea, the main purpose of the passage is to provide useful information about how to deal with a backdraft. Thank you.